What we've been looking at are applications for this type of movement. Talking about when one hand will come back, pull back towards the waist, and the other hand flies forward. There's tons of ways this happens, right? Whether it's an attacking motion forward here, whether it's just a pulling back of the hand as the punch flies forward. All right, and so what we were looking at was this idea of, what if I can't time his arms? They're moving around. What if his hands are in different positions? Maybe he's just got a low guard, and so there's nothing there for me to grab. And so in different forms, you have strikes that happen. Sometimes the strike can be a chop. Sometimes it can be a coming over and under. Whatever the strike is, we'll show you a couple of different examples of that. Whatever the strike is, I can still elicit a response. What I'm looking for here to use the grab effectively is a lead hand response. So in praying mantis, for example, a lot of times they'll shoot for the eyes or strike with a backhand. And he's got a couple of different options. He can lean back like he's doing, he can block with his backhand, or let's just say I run into this front arm again. So I start to strike and he raises that front arm up, I run into an obstruction. This is what I'm looking for, right? So we're here, I'm coming in, I fire, maybe it was a jab, maybe it was an eye gouge, maybe it was a backhand, but I run into this lead hand, maybe it was that chop you saw earlier, that chop coming in. But the main thing is I'm eliciting a response. And like I said, I'm gonna get movement, I'm gonna get lead hand or rear hand. That's the three standard things you're going to get, right? So if I come in and I get this same thing, that turns into a strike. That turns into a grab, right? I fire, boom, and then come down this way. I don't have to. I can fire and then just come in this way, and that's where I'll start to use a guarding type position, right? But the main idea is that I need to manage this front hand. I'll come in this way, I'll come in this way, and then I can take that arm away. Of course, it happens a lot faster than that. This only happens for a split second, right? In reality, we're firing, he's gonna block, and then we go back to here. Nobody leaves their hands out in a fight, right? So you've gotta get used to this idea of firing that arm. I know I'm gonna get that response that I can then attack with, okay? And even though I'm reaching with my palm, my thumb has to engage at some point up his arm. So other techniques that use what's known as the soft hook, right? Or the clamp, these types of hooks, are a little bit faster because I can just reach out as fast as I could throw a strike, right? Or I can reach out and pull back to that strike. This type of technique where you're closing that fist uses the thumb. So when I have to take care that I'm reaching with this side of my hand, this outside portion, so I don't damage my thumb and slide to that noose. So training, when you're looking at training the grab, it's feng shou in Chinese, which is a grabbing hand. Like this, you'll see it come up, you'll see it come this way, you'll see the reverse version, right, this direction. So if he's got his arm out and he's just standing like this with his arm out 45 degrees, from an up position here, I'm reaching for anywhere in the forearm area. And what I want to do is slide down his arm. All of the major joints of the body have like a noose point to them. It can be the wrist, it can be the bones of the elbow. I'm looking for that noose point to train the grab. This way, and I slide to that noose, right? So this is one drill. Just practicing sliding to that noose. If he had his arm high, another drill that we used to use, if he's giving me a target, say at about a 45-degree angle this way, then I'm gonna reach up from under and just practice one, just getting this contact point, sliding to the noose. And there are some forms where you reach up high like that and try to come under. But if I wanna get the full grab, the grab and pull with my core to my waist, it goes here. And I just practice sliding to this position. He brings his hand back up. I'll practice a couple times, just lining that up. And then I go to here. I get the grab a few times and then I can start adding the other hand in. One, I come back. I get my distance here, two. So I just get used to this idea of my front hand reaching out and trying to grab a target. But this is one category of technique. There are other versions of it, coming to the inside this way, coming up and reaching out like that. Just if I can time that and get a hold of him and gain control of him for a second, right? There's other versions of this. I'll just show a fun one real fast, right? Where I've got a form that comes in here, grabs, and then punches this way. right? And that sort of thing would be like if his hands were up, and I'm gonna scoot us forward a little bit for this one, right? So what happens is I'm coming in, there's my grab, right? I know I'm a little bit off camera here, but you can still see this arm. There's the strike coming in. The grab hand would actually be here, turning him into this next part to fire that next technique, right? And so the grab does not just have to be grabbing the arm. I can slide to a noose point here, I can grab this way and then fire my punch across. I'm clearing something out of my way. That's the main purpose of that front hand reaching or striking, is to clear something out of my way to make room for that power punch, right? Tong cui in Chinese, which literally means 直 tong cui, which means straight power punch to his face, okay?